Hello everyone. I am coming to you today with a special sketch. I am playing along with Christy's Beautiful Life, 30 Days of Sketches, and I'm making this quite a bit ahead of time because I have volunteered to do one of the sample sketches for the next series, which is going to be series 10, which is series 10 because when you all are watching this, it will be during the series. So it's series 10 for 30 Days of Sketches for Christy's Beautiful Life, and I am going to be doing day 11's sketch, which was created by CC Inez. So this is what the sketch looks like. As you can see, there are several different layers here. Hopefully you guys can see, like I can see a glare on my screen, so hopefully you guys are not getting too bad of that glare. But we have the complete background page there. In the sketch, it's a patterned paper. I think I'm going to be doing something a little different than patterned paper, but in the sketch, that's what she has. Then there is one big square sheet of paper here that kind of anchors everything. Then we have what looks like a piece of notebook paper here with the jagged edge on it, which I think is really, really cool. Not sure if that's going to end up being in my layout or not. I have a couple of ideas for this area and we're just going to see where that goes. We have a nice big title here with kind of like a secondary down there. We have 3 areas of embellishments here. Then we have another sheet of patterned paper, a rectangular sheet behind the 2 photos, a nice scalloped border over here on the edge, and then it looks like this is the bottom part of this page, and then we have another little strip down here. Nice little circle element over here with these embellishments. So this is a sketch I'm going to be working with, and of course, as always, I will do my own thing in some areas and I will follow pretty faithfully in other areas. We're just going to see how this all ends up today. So that's a sketch I'm working with. Like I said, I'm doing this quite a bit ahead of time so that I am completed with this sketch, but you'll be watching this for day 11. So this is what I have decided to work with today. It is going to be from 49 and Market mostly, and it's going to be their vintage artistry everyday set, I guess. At least the page, the printed page here that I have, that is what that's from. I actually received almost all of this from my August A Cherry on Top cherry box. So almost everything you're going to see me use today came from that. I do have a few other things from 49 and Market and from Simple Stories that I've pulled together that I think will go really well with the theme that I'm working with here. So just to kind of talk through the papers that I've chosen, as you guys can see, this is the 49 and Market page that I'm planning to use. This is going to be my main, the large square background, not the background, but like the large square that kind of anchors the whole design. And I'm going to kind of figure out how I want to do that. I really like the colors in this piece, and I think they go along well with the theme that I want to get across. So this is going to be that main big square. I don't know if we'll use any from the background, but the background is pretty awesome too. I love the mixed media look of that, and it's got some writing and different things in it. So if I can work this in, I will, but I just don't know how much I'll have left to be able to do that. We shall see. So for the big background, I am going to use this avocado basil cardstock that I got with my cherry on top box, or my cherry box, and it is textured. I just really love the evergreen. It's called avocado, but it's just really, really dark green background. So I really like this for what I'm going with. And then I've got just a piece of natural basil smooth cardstock as well that we're going to work with for this page today. So there's my papers. These are the photos that I'm going to be scrapping. So as you can see, they go really well with the colors that came in this kit that I got. So I'm gonna go ahead and have fun with this. So this was from our recent trip to Las Vegas. This is actually, my husband and I are at Mount Charleston with our son and daughter-in-law, and we were gonna hike a little bit, but then we were too tired. So we didn't actually hike too much, but we did drive up to the lodge, and they have a ski lift at the lodge that you can take just for like a scenic view. So this is my husband and I on the ski lift on our way up the mountain. And then this was coming back down the mountain, and this is the view that you could see. So I just thought this would be really, really pretty with these papers, and for me to document using this sketch. So some of the goodies that I have so many of them that came with my cherry box. So first and foremost, I have the laser cut, like die cuts or whatever they call them. I can't remember what they call them, but I've already punched a few out that I might use, and I kind of set them aside. But look at how beautiful this is, and it's a really, really fine cut. So it's very delicate and very realistic looking when you use this. It's got some really nice borders that look like lace. These floral and foliage bits are just, they're just so beautiful. So we're going to use some of those in this page. Also in the cherry box, I got the 49 and Market Vintage Artistry Essentials chipboard stickers, and we may put some of these in there depending on how things go. I just have a lot of stuff kind of pulled out that might work on this layout. Also from 49, or also from my cherry box, I got this vintage plaid repositionable fabric tape. We'll see if we can work some of that in. This is really cool, like this just really thick fabric tape, but you can pull it off and put it back on again. So I want to see if I can put that in there at some point. So we have that. We also have the Vintage Artistry Essentials. This is like washi. These are like kind of some cut aparts. This one you can cut out the different designs, and you can put them on like stickers, but it's like got a washi feel. And then this is a whole page, well, like a half a page here that you can stick on, and it'd be like the whole scene. So maybe something in that we can use today. I think that's all from 49 and Market that I got with the cherry box. This I actually pulled out of a different kit that I had. This is Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Weathered Garden, and it's the foam stickers, but I thought that that really matched this set really well, so I may pull my title from this or use some of the puffies in there. So I thought those would work really, really well. Oh, I missed one. So I also got the wishing bubbles and trinkets with my cherry box, and this is 49 and Market and goes with the Vintage Artistry Essentials as well. So we've got like enamel dot looking things up here. We've got bigger, almost like flair. We've got some words, some beautiful butterflies, and they have that nice little shine to them. So I've got that as well. I don't know if I'll use this, but it also came with a stamp set. So who knows? We'll see. We'll see how things go as I'm just kind of playing around with this sketch. And then the last thing I know for sure I want to use is I just got some more flair from Scrap and Happy Studios, and I ordered these ones specifically to Scrapbook when we were at Mount Charleston. So I'm going to pull a few of these in and put those also in with this layout. Oh, and another thing, I also have some ephemera stacks from 49 and Market that also match pretty well with this. So who knows, y'all? I have so much stuff to choose from that literally I can make 15 pages out of all of this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just get some things figured out as for sizes, and then those main pieces of the sketch, like the big squares and all of those bigger parts. And I will come back once I have those things ready, and we'll start to configure the layout. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. All right, so off camera, I went ahead and I used that big half sheet of the washi looking scene, and I backed that onto some vellum so that we could still see everything underneath it. And I also took some of that fabric tape and I put that on some of the cream colored cardstock, and then I punched the holes on the top to make it look a bit like paper. So those are those couple of elements that were in the sketch. And what I'm doing now is I'm taking my X-Acto knife and I am cutting some slits into the leaves that are on this page. I saw Scrappy Kathy do this one time, and I've been wanting to try it so that I can kind of lift up some of the elements that are on the bottom paper or the background paper and kind of make it, you know, just feel a little more dimensional. So I saw her do that one time, and I've been wanting to do it forever, and I decided that this was the time that I was going to give it a shot. I like those leaves in the background. I didn't want them to be completely covered up by the layers, and so I just cut some slits into the paper so that I could kind of slip my other layers underneath and have this more kind of 3D effect with those leaves. I really like how it turns out. I think you guys will like it too. It's just a cool little element that gives some more texture and some more dimension to your layout. And of course, I'm going ahead and I am scuffing up the edges here, and I'm going to start to assemble just a bit of these larger background pieces so that I can start working on putting the pictures on and getting all of the embellishments in here. So there's that avocado colored cardstock that's going to be the base of the page. Okay, so that's what I'm going to stick everything else to. As you can see, there's that little half sheet there. I did trim off a little bit so that it would fit my layout better. Like I said before in the intro, that design is like a washi. It's like a giant piece of washi, and it covers about half of a page, maybe not quite half, like a third of a page. And I just put it on top of some vellum so that we could still see through. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of put everything on this background piece, fit everything in here. On the back of the leaves, as you saw just a minute ago, I did put a little bit of foam tape on the background so that I could pop up those leaves when I was ready. I have not peeled that off yet because I want to make sure that I can put any embellishments that I want to add underneath the leaves if I need them to be there. So I haven't stuck that down yet, but that foam tape is there. But I am going ahead and sticking down these layers so you can see like those main portions of this sketch are in place now. I really like how that looks with the leaves kind of popped up over, especially the checkered pattern up there, the gingham pattern. I think that looks really cool. I did forget to rough up the edges there of those bottom leaves, but there we go. They're good to go now. And then just kind of playing with the rough edge of that paper there. Okay, so we're going to get this stuck down and in place on the avocado basil cardstock there on the bottom. And you saw me kind of fiddling around with that lace that came from the laser cut sheet. And that's what I'm going to use in place of the scallops that was on the sketch. So that's going to be attached right there. There we go. I just fast forwarded a bit. So now everything is stuck down for the main base layers of everything. For my photos, I didn't want like there to be too much distraction from the pretty backgrounds. I really wanted a lot of that washi half page to still be showing. So what I ended up doing for my photos was I took some more of that fabric fabric tape and I put it on some of the cardstock here. Oh, you'll see me do it here. I forgot that I left this in. On the back of my photos already is just a piece of vellum. And so I decided what I wanted to do now was take a bit more of this fabric tape, put it on that cream colored cardstock here, and then cut out a couple of photo mats from there. So underneath the photos, you'll still be able to see just a hint of that gingham, but not much. or plaid or whatever that is. I can't think today. I'm just getting over having COVID, and so my brain's a little bit foggy still, so forgive me for misspeaking. Okay, so there are the photos. They are all matted. I don't think I have them quite in place yet, but there they are, and that is where they are going to sit mostly. I will be doing a little bit more with them in a little bit. So down on the bottom, in the sketch, there was actually another layer kind of underneath everything else and just kind of poking out. But instead of putting that layer in, I use that film strip instead. And the film strip itself came with 4 of those squares and little dots in the middle that like said different things. I decided to keep 2 of those squares and dots in there. And then that circular piece that said this is now, that came from the laser cut paper. So I decided to put that there for the circular element. And then, like I said, on the bottom, instead of that extra layer of printed paper, I just used the film strip instead. For my title, I used those thickers that I had from Simple Stories and my title, Oh Happy Moments. So at this point, I am just working on embellishing a bit. I'm going to focus for a minute down here on this film strip, which is not completely tacked down yet because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. So now I'm going to go ahead and tack that down because I have a pretty good idea of how I want things to look. And I'm putting a little of those, a few of those laser cut flowers in those spaces where I did not put the square and the circular bits. And I really like how that looks. It feels so natural, especially with the pictures and the nature pictures that I have on there. So I am working on layering up just a little bit behind my main photo, which is of my husband and I. There was a little piece in the, you can see here, it's got like kind of the little tabs and stuff all sticking out of the top. And I really liked how that looked. And I wanted that piece behind that main photo just to kind of showcase it a little bit from the other photo. So I'm just going to kind of stick my photo on top here, covering up all the places where I punched out all the stuff and used that. And I really like how that looks. I like how it is, kind of setting that photo apart and kind of drawing my eye to that photo first. But it's still subtle because it's not like bright colors, and it really doesn't feel like it's hiding anything behind it, which was the goal that I had. I really wanted you to be able to see all of those layers. I really wanted everything to really work seamlessly together, and I feel like it did. Even though I covered up some with those layers, I just really like how it looks. I think it does exactly what I wanted it to do, which was to draw your eye. So I've got a little tab there that I also punched out of that little laser cut sheet. That thing has so much stuff on it. It's actually 2 pages, and it just has so many little things and so many cool things. Something with 49 in Market that I don't see like with every brand, but with 49 in Market, it's pretty consistent, is that everything is very detailed and it looks very realistic, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. Like that lace like actually looks like lace on my paper, even though it's paper, but it has enough dimension and enough like, I don't know, just design to it that it looks real. It looks 3D, even though it is flat on my page. So I love 49 in Market, and everything I get from them, I'm never ever disappointed with the things that I get from them. Just simply because it just seems like they take such care in designing their things so that everything looks just so realistic and beautiful. Like I said, there was another piece of paper that was kind of underneath. So to kind of mimic that look, but not actually put another piece of paper, I put that tab there on the side, and then of course the film strip on the bottom, just to kind of still give the idea of that other piece, but without using it. So at this point, I'm just kind of playing around with some of the punch outs here. that come from that little sheet, and also I'll be grabbing some from the little wishing bubbles and stuff. But I wasn't quite sure where I wanted to put everything. And this guy especially, like I played around with him for a little bit because I just wasn't sure where I wanted him to go. So I just kind of set him aside for a minute and I grab another like sprig of flowers, which I really like how that looks. I think it's really pretty up there. And it's just like just this kind of pop of pink, because I don't know if you can tell while watching the video, but those flowers have just like a little touch of pink. It's not much. They're mostly like kind of a creamy white color, but there's just this little shadow of pink, especially on the closed buds. You can see it a little more pronounced there, and it's just so pretty. And I love that little, just that little tiny touch, because everything else are these creams and browns and greens, but there's this little tiny bit of pink there, and I love that. So I grabbed another couple of things from the foam stickers. I put that butterfly down there, and now I've got that little guy. Remember, I was trying to put him up by the title before, so I did kind of find a place for him there. I'm going to play around with him a little bit to get him to kind of sit how I want him to, but in the end he does stay there, and I really like how that looks. It's just kind of this little pop, and I put him up a little bit on some foam later so that he kind of, you know, shows a lot of that dimension. So there are my flair from Scrap and Happy Studio. I love these. These look like watercolor, kind of like painted mountains and trees. So I'm going to go ahead and set them. That guy's going to go there. And then I'm going to put another one that says "Let's Go" on it. Because we didn't actually hike at this portion of our time at Mount Charleston, I didn't want to put the "Let's Hike." I will use that on another part where we actually did hike for about 15 minutes before we got too tired and just turned around and went back and just kind of decided, we're not going to do this today. So I'm going to put the "Let's Go" flair down there by the bigger circle that says "This Is Now." And then now I'm working with the Wishing Bubbles page. And I'm just going to take a couple of things from there. First thing, I put that full butterfly up there by the O part of my title. And then I've got a few hearts that I'm going to set in here, trying to get him to be sort of straight. And then I am going to put one more little butterfly. I think I've got him up there already, kind of sitting on the edge of the flowers down there on the bottom. And I think that looks really cool, like he's just landed there real quick. And now I'm adding a few puffy hearts from that Simple Stories title sheet, puffy stickers sheet. And I'm looking again at those wishing bubbles and putting a few more hearts down here. So I decided to do that instead of putting any enamel dots on the page. And I'm getting pretty close to being done here, guys. That's pretty much what I end with, I think. Let me see. Oh, I am going to add a couple more puffy stickers. That today sticker, I had it above the photo of my husband and I before, but I moved that over to the left-hand side tab, and I like it over there. And then I am going to look for a couple of things. I think I put one more little bubble on the page. I don't think I keep that there, honestly, you guys. I think that title piece that I just put on the side there on the right hand side, I don't keep that. I play around with it for a minute. There's a little bubble. I'm going to keep that little bubble, but I'm not going to keep it there. I'm going to move that to the other side, to the other tab over by the today. It's a little bubble with a butterfly inside of it. And so it matched with the other butterflies that I put there, but I don't end up keeping him. And this piece, I'm still playing around with it just a little bit, trying to figure out a way to keep it. But in the end, I am going to take it off, and he's not going to stay there. There we go with the little bubble. He's over there to his new home where he is going to stay over there on the side. And I wonder, you know what? I'm showing you all of the finishing touches here, and I'm noticing that I did keep that in the moment, but it's not on my page right now. So I think it got lost, guys. Well, I'll see if I can find it, but there we go. There is the finished page. I hope you guys enjoyed watching today, and that you continue to enjoy the 30 days of sketches, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye for now.